just took the Kaisa, went for the full AP variant. You know, he was playing into the Ziggs, so he just took teleport. I think was a really smart build adaptation for the game, where Rageblade wouldn't really have done anything for him. And we'll see if 100 Thieves can try to craft something to really get an edge here.
And the only problem with, targeting Massu with Ezreal and Kaisa bans is that you leave up Kalista, and FlyQuest could do a strong bottom lane Kalista composition and try and snowball on you, and that has been extremely frightening as well. So FlyQuest definitely have some other options here.
And we see the first pick Renekton coming in. We did have that little soundbite from Sniper where he said Bwipo was a Renekton one trick. He also, it was actually 9 to 8 games of Renekton, I'm pretty sure, in the playoffs between these two top laners, and they are going to lock it in for Sniper in game 1.
Interesting. So FlyQuest are going to be the ones taking the Ziggs, taking the Nullifier. I will also say, especially from watching a lot of LPL, the Ziggs lanes can get a lot of kills sometimes when they do satchel charge combos with something like a Leona or a Nautilus. So you do have to be cognizant of the knockback, of the burst potential. And it is actually going to be the Kalista the other way.
And Senna getting locked in here, which I think is a really strong pick and a really strong answer, especially into a team that has been kind of dominating with poke, right? You know, when you think about some of the pairings here as well, you're saying Ziggs, well, what if they want to go to a Corki? Well, those are both very heavy poke-reliant champs, and Senna can alleviate a lot of those problems.
Yeah, I like the Senna lock-in. The thing I'm really interested in is now if FlyQuest potentially go for some sort of lane swap. I do think they are the more experienced team if they do not want to have to face off against the Kalista, and it also will, depending on what they do decide to lock in for Bwipo, theoretically put the Renekton in a tough spot as well. That is something we could see coming out of FlyQuest in this game 3.
And this is always funny to me because obviously, yeah, he's played a lot of Renekton this split, and that has become a big topic of conversation. But Bwipo throughout his entire career has been known as someone who's really difficult to draft against because he brings out so many different oddball picks. And even when you look at his champion pool in summer alone, he has 6 or 7 champions, maybe even 8 that are only one pick that he'll bring out from these niche situations. There's still that threat here in a game like this.
And that's been really interesting about FlyQuest's draft and draft evolution throughout these playoffs, as we were talking about them locking in the Renekton for Bwipo. Like, historically, with this FlyQuest roster, especially when they're on red side, they have saved that R5 counter pick for Bwipo specifically because of that reason, Azael, because he can play so many of these picks, and they did it just in the last game with the Rumble on R5.
Exactly, and now they actually have been forced to give up the respect. I mean, previously to the last game, Bwipo only had the 4 total Rumble games throughout his long career and was just a 50% win rate on it. But after going down 5,000 gold in an individual matchup due a lot to side waves and team play, they have now been forced to add that to the ban list. I actually think the Poppy one was a good catch there too, since they recognized that FlyQuest would get so much value out of it, not just as like a tank pick into a Renekton, but also into the Kalista for later.
Has to move to auto attack.
Yes, please. So I think that was a good job of kind of covering your bases there for 100 Thieves. It does feel like they're playing a lot of catch-up so far.
Yeah, and we see the Ivern pick coming out of FlyQuest.
That's a problem.
Something that we've seen Inspired also look really good on, especially with multiple damage.
Zach and Yasuo!
It's the Yasuo! They're going full diving in.
Okay, this is 100 Thieves draft if you've ever seen one. This is going to be so exciting, so explosive. You have that ability to set it up with the Zac, fly in with the Yasuo over the top, the Senna ult there to back you up. This could be a really good game for 100 Thieves or a really bad game. Yeah. Because when these comps don't work, they tend to fall flat on their face.
And there is the Olaf pick coming in for Bwipo. He had that unlock. We've seen him go in this matchup again. But with 100 Thieves draft, right? I love this from them because even though I favor FlyQuest draft overall, I do think this is the kind of draft, we heard it from Golden Glue in the Dignitas series where he's like, this is going to be my Yasuo draft. We were going to win with this. Now it is once again all on Quid's Yasuo with this dive composition accompanied by the Zac.
This is such a frightening counter pick, though. Olaf, dream scenario.
Yep.
Such value out of red side here. Such value out of a classic Bwipo counter pick. You're playing into a bunch of knockups. Who doesn't care about knockups? That's right. It's the Olaf. It's the Viking. And if you're playing into the Zac on top side, it is a low damage jungler that does rely on the CC when ganking you. So unless the Zac really plays around your ultimate timer, it does seem like it's going to be hard to stop the Olaf from scaling to the point that you get to run over the game because you've got an Ivern on your team. So Olaf just gets dream scenario. I mean, this is Valhalla right now for Bwipo.
Are you saying he's already dead?
Yeah.
He's already dead. He's at the time of his life.
I think the big thing, I'm so glad you called out the Ivern, because in both of these team comps, we have on one side the Senna, right? And depending on how this goes, whether she'll be able to help out this dive composition from 100 Thieves. But the Ivern 4-pick is so good. And again, it's something we've seen FlyQuest have so much success with in playoffs thus far.
And this is the problem when they have this many picks that they can play to that top level. You drop some bans, you're going to open up something else, and FlyQuest is going to be there ready with that pick. This could be the final game here, or potentially the beginning of a comeback, as FlyQuest going to be starting this one off with a little bit of a skirmish here. Sniper going to take the bad end of that trade, but not too big of a deal.
Yeah, you always have to worry about getting invaded as a Zac. And of course, if an Olaf level 1 is threatening to get into your jungle, you're going to need more people to help you out, so Sniper helping.
And as we see, Busio just reached 1,000. He is currently camping out around mid lane, but we see the Ziggs from Massu also headed up into the top lane, so it does look like some sort of swap is going to be happening.
Looks like that, and we have Raz standing by with Nukeduck to tell us all about it.
Get ready, go. Got Nukeduck here with me. Nukeduck, you guys are 2-0 up in the series. What have you been liking about your guys' play so far?
We're liking the play. Our team fighting has been good, and also our laning phase. And there has been like many complicated games, so been going expected and good.
Sweet, and of course, just to clinch out the series, you guys are going up against the Zac and Yasuo. What do you guys need to clean up or do better just to be able to lock this one down?
I mean, this one, it's gonna be about like early game, and then we'll I think if we get past early game, we're probably gonna win. And they don't have like that good snowballing, so I think like maybe we should be careful about which fight we take on against their team comp, something like that, and then not get picked by Zac.
I appreciate the insight. Thank you again. Send this one straight back to the casters.
This is such a huge lane swap for the Ivern. So some important things happened during that interview. Number one, Busio, you saw on camera, he got visual confirmation of Zac's position. River found him on Wolves, and Ivern gets to fully channel his weak side quadrant. Good job from the observers, panning over right now to see the aftermath. Ivern had fully channeled, so Inspired just goes to pick all of those up and instantly take away the options from the Zac. River really got burned on this lane swap here, having such a rough start for jungle now.
And Zac really needs levels. You know, you need to get points in that elastic slingshot to really have a threat of these long-range engages. It's so much about that. Busio walking in here. Ivern is there behind him in case they were to look for a dive, but they don't really have the threat to go for it. And already, Bwipo has a massive experience difference.
Yeah, that's the big thing that I want to just ticked over to
that is actually horrible. He's losing that entire wave.
That feels so
that could be
bad.
almost game ending for him. Like, he is going to be completely out of this 1v1 matchup.
This Olaf is going to be in such a good position.
Inspired once again, the intelligent plays, putting the brush gives vision. When Ivern creates them, he's able to go in and stop the cross map. Again, there's so many small setup plays that he has done in game number 1, mid lane, in game number 2, bottom lane with the counter gank. Now here, such a well set up, manicured start for FlyQuest.
And you notice Massu and Busio are actually also ahead in XP in this Kalista lane that they initially avoided. So just really, really well done swap from FlyQuest. I know you guys can't necessarily see it in the gold lead, but the way they're setting up their lanes coming out of this swap and the swap back is huge.
Yeah, Quid going at quad here, trying to get aggressive, known for these melee matchups. He is a specialist when it comes to Yasuo, to the Yone, and champions like this. Busio getting poked there. He's going to be able to clear out the ward here. Wasn't hitting it earlier to try to deny vision, but yeah, Bwipo a full level and even more than a little bit of that full level ahead. And of course, now it's going to even out here. A sniper going forward, trying to take a trade. Bwipo, though, is level 4. He's going to try to pick up his axe again
River's here.
And River comes in. They're going to try to push him back. They're not going to be able to look for a dive. Quid, though, in trouble as Inspire just walks forward. Quad flashes forward. It lands the slow. The Foss Bomb is enough. The Quad Father gets first blood.
They know that Inspired can't be top,
They're
so
going
they're
to try
forcing.
to dive. They're going to try to force it, but unfortunately, Sniper took aggro. I don't know if River can actually finish him off. They misjudge it. They do get the kill, though. The red buff burn is enough, and now a TP coming through. It's going to be the Corki, and Ivern is here as well. River going to have to flash. How long on the elastic slingshot? That's the question, because it looks like he's just going to be going down. Foss Bomb connects, and they're going to be able to clean up the... It should be another freebie here for Quad.
And once again, Inspired is everywhere, and this time they're funneling that gold into Quad. He is off to such a great start here. I'm so happy about this swap and them coming out of it, and how Inspired specifically, to your point, Kobe, has really been able to play with the information they got off of that swap.
And in that play, even though it is a giant wave that 100 Thieves pushed into the top side, the Quad Father is the one getting all of these kills. So Corki this game, very different from the start for Corki last game.
Can I say my favorite part of this Photoshop, which I feel like is indicative of what we see in this game, is just Inspired whispering something into his ear. He's like, yeah, he's like giving him the information.
Quad Father, of course you can have this last kill on the Zach.
And it's good that you mentioned him, because Inspired on the Pros podcast was so complimentary of Quad. They're putting a lot of faith in him into this game, even though Bwipo on this Olaf pick is also critical in their scaling and then running over the team. He still retains this big experience lead, and so they're going to be able to chase River off of these grubs with Bwipo moving down with Busio. It's just going to be the one steal away that River was able to get. But Bwipo, this Olaf is still going to be such a menace. Even though they were able to dive him, he did a really good job holding on to his W for so long that he got back in range for even more experience on some of those minions that were dying, and forced the rest of 100 Thieves to stay around so Quad could pick up the second of his 2 kills.
It's been a bit of a strange game because Tomo has been pushed out multiple times. You know, his summoner's been forced off screen, as we're going to see Quid get engaged on. River's going in the back line. Eyla there to try to back him up, but River's in trouble and he has no passive. He's got to get out, but he's got no way out. It's a killing spree already for Quad. But Eyla's ahead on XP compared to Tomo because the Kalista keeps getting pushed down the lane, and Eyla was there to actually collect a lot of it. So definitely a weird spot, but a very tough early start here for River.
Yeah, and as you see, again, those kills are all getting funneled over into Quad. He was able to just clean that up, and with Eyla and Tomo should be able to zone Massu off of some of this, potentially. But, I mean, again, just they're off to a 1K gold lead. Really, really smart moves from FlyQuest, and Quad is just in such a great spot.
Yeah, Quad definitely going to have some very early and accelerated scaling this game on the Corki. Meanwhile, this Olaf pick.
Oh, both ultis are being popped, and Bwipo likes his odds in this fight, picks up the axe one more time, and he's immune to the stun. Sniper tries to flash, tries to outplay, but you can't take down Bwipo.
It's only going to get worse, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse. The Olaf will be a menace. Now Bwipo gets to push out the wave after that, and Sniper doesn't have teleport. That is just such a huge 1v1 victory for Bwipo for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, while they're kind of licking their wounds, it looks like they'll be able to pick up this Drake. FlyQuest are looking to contest this potentially.
Yeah, I mean, Quad is just so strong already. They're going to try to turn. There's the combo. It's spent onto Ivern. They do burst them down. Nice turn. The debut of that last breath combo with the Zac gets them a kill and secures them the dragon.
They really needed that. 100 Thieves need the kills now. They need the hope now, because they're so worried about the time bombs of Olaf and Corki that they just got to keep forcing plays like that, you know, go for Dragon, and then you see anyone, immediately go for the engage, get the money now, try and get it rolling back in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, that time bomb is ticking, and they cut the wrong wire because the Corki has 3 kills.
It exploded a couple times.
He's looking
it's
strong
fine.
already. It's going to be another fight up on top side. You can just see Bwipo likes his odds in these scraps, has the early tabbies, has still that entire level lead. You can look at the little bar there on the bottom of the screen. It's going to be Busio going forward, but they're just going to turn on to Massu with the ulti. They get the knock up, and the spears are stacking up. The cleanse comes through. The Ziggs ulti's flashed out by Tomo. It's a beautiful play from the 100 Thieves bot lane just when they need them most.
The other side of the map is on fire, so 100 Thieves, they repeat plays bottom. Really good flash there from Tomo. Double summoner spells expended, though. Maybe FlyQuest and Inspire try and focus.
Yeah, and Massu should be able to just TP back to get this XP and wave as well. But really nice. I mean, nice response from 100 Thieves, right? Again, setting up the Drake fight, so they'd be able to get that, and now their gold lead is almost negligible.
Yeah, and a lot of it is towards this bottom lane, so that's why I think Inspired was going to focus down there, but he's focused on the Olaf scaling.
Sniper, though, does get the slice through. He's going to try to run with the dominance, but he's got no flash, and he's got no way out. Here comes River to try to turn it around, but he might have just donated another kill. As Bwipo going to think diving through that tower.
It's because you look at the Kalista and you're like, okay, 100 Thieves like gold was pretty competitive with Kalista getting fed, getting money. But if you look towards the comps towards later, the Olaf, again, with an Ivern is going to run over everyone in this game. So Corki already secured the scaling. Now Olaf will also be so secured. It's very, very dangerous stuff for 100 Thieves. They do have some all-in potential to go for. So Eyla making a visit towards the mid lane here. Maybe something off of a Yasuo, but honestly, FlyQuest can equally call numbers and allow another push out.
Yeah, Quid looking for a little bit of poke there. Does dash forward as Eyla keeps making these trips over to mid lane to try to support his Yasuo. They know Quid has to have a good game. If the Yasuo falls behind, it is really curtains for 100 Thieves.
Now, there also is a small bounty on the Kalista's head, and Tomo doesn't have summoner spells because he used them both to get the kill earlier. So maybe see a return towards this area of the map.
Both, I mean, River is here, so he should be able to stop. And Inspire doesn't look like he is rotating down there either. Yeah.
Pushing lanes here so far for 100 Thieves. As we can see it, TP going to come back towards mid to answer. And the Hearthbound Axe picked up there by Quad. He's still stacking up that Cull and already in a great spot. He's just walking forward into Quid, completely unafraid. Knows he has so much more combat power, especially because Quid has not gone back to spend. We'll see when the Blade of the Rune King comes through for Tomo, because that's a big moment for the Kalista. They're canceled their recalls on bot side, though. They're maybe trying to lay a bit of a trap here for the Ziggs, seeing if he gets too greedy. But again, Ivern back to top. Sniper trying to waste his time with this ward.
Exactly. Trying to waste his time here, trying to keep the jungler on vision. Meanwhile, they just get the reset, so Kalista's going to come out towards top side trying to help with these Void Grubs, but Busio didn't go first. He just headed straight over, and the ultimate is ready.
Gonna take the all-in. The last breath comes out, but Busio is here to back him up. The ultimate just goes wide. Eyla coming with the reinforcements here. Gonna be able to keep Quid alive for now, but the Frost Bomb doesn't connect. Neither does the rocket. The root is there. They can't go for the fight, but on the other side, Bwipo sees a 1v2, and he loves those odds. Pushes them back, and they're gonna be able to grab the grubs.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Bwipo just zoning both Sniper and River off of the grubs? He's so incredibly strong. To your point, Kobe, he's only going to get worse.
No ult now, though, so he knows he has to give up the last grub. You have to know your windows of power. Again, Zach does nothing to an Olaf. He's almost just a source for Olaf to heal off of when Olaf has ulti.
Hey, free gold.
Let's go.
But when Olaf does not have ulti, then you have to give up resources. You have to give a little bit, and so it is still going to be 3 grubs for 100 Thieves, but 3 grubs does not matter in the slightest. FlyQuest already accomplished their job by chasing them off and denying them the 4.
Here's one of these big early spikes, though, coming through. Double Blade of the Rune King done for 100 Thieves and the Echoes of Hylia. Bwipo has members behind him. He doesn't have that ulti, and he won't for quite some time, but Tomo could be in trouble. Busio gonna look, doesn't hit with the Zenith Blade. They're trying to not pull aggro, but in goes Bwipo, and Tomo taking so much damage alongside Eyla. They've got to back this one up. Thankfully, Bwipo didn't have that ulti, didn't have the ghost, or I think he would have committed to the play. Absolutely. River is here, Quid is here, and they do have the last breath. Are they going to look for a dive? This would be a very risky one. So I think it is more just that defensive play here But if you look towards mid, Quad returning now towards mid to push that out. And on bot side, Massu just farming it up against the Renekton. FlyQuest don't have to make any aggressive plays. They just need to neutralize what their opponents are trying to do.
And it's very easy to neutralize when you're an Ivern. You have early access to a semi-global of redemption, which helps combat a lot of these plays.
Oh, swing and a miss on the ulti. The TP's coming in. They thought they had their man. Tomo had no cleanse. They looked with that ulti from the Leona as the TP was coming in from Bwipo. Couldn't quite connect, unfortunately, with that solar flare, and it means Tomo just walks away.
Yeah, and meanwhile, they should be able to get this rotation onto the Rift Herald as well. It looks like with Busio backing, they are not going to contest that, and instead they're going to have Quad trying to push out mid, and then Massu getting some damage onto this bot tier 1.
And the reasoning is a very simple choice for FlyQuest. They are very happy to scale up. They would much rather have Quad get a full free wave on mid lane and then rotate bottom lane because Sniper is under attack.
Yeah, Sniper in trouble here. They're just going to try to focus down the tower for now. Quad is just going for it. They execute the tower, and now Sniper is on the run. Going to have to flash out. The ultimate won't finish him off from Ziggs, so he is going to be okay for now. But again, a good move there from FlyQuest, just increasing their lead.
Yep, and there we see the turret taking power of the Ziggs once again. Exactly why lock in this champion, and it really doesn't matter, even with the Kalista getting those 3 kills, because the major amount of gold onto FlyQuest in their 2.4k gold lead is on the Olaf and on the Corki.
Oh, Tomo in trouble now. There is that ultimate coming through from Senna, going to be able to actually keep him safe. But Tomo, a lot of pressure on this guy in this game here.
Ziggs is coming in.
He is new to the team, has made a big difference. He's 3-0 on the Kalista, and you have to think their season is on the line unless he can carry. Quid gonna look, but he goes in, he gets stunned up by the Leona. Now he's rooted up. Is he gonna get finished down? River goes, but he can't actually connect. They elect not to follow up because Quid is just too low to go in with the last breath. They can't find anything, and they're having to throw their bodies at FlyQuest just to wave clear because the wave clear is so low.
Yep, they already poked him out. Ziggs and Corki there. If Quid goes in, that's a one-way ticket for the Yasuo to death. Ivern already with the redemption down, heals everyone up to 100%, so there's no kill threat. Now topside.
They're TPing in. They're going to look for Quad. They want to try to get this bounty. Can they actually catch up and knock him down? He flashes out. In comes Busio. Beautiful wind wall.
That was so
and
nice.
in comes the ulti. The last breath will surely get them a kill, but no! Quad survives on the other side. They're on Massu. They're trying to burst him down. Tomo looking for the kill there. They will get one as River finishes his man, but Quad does get out, and that is critical for FlyQuest.
And meanwhile, on this bot side, Bwipo is at tier 2. Mowing this down, Tomo.
Once more, stacking the spears, but the Ivern shields should keep him alive.
Yeah, and that was also a nice collapse coming in from FlyQuest, right? Recognizing how far pushed up Sniper was in that Busio. We've talked about how he's always looking for these picks on the Leona. As we see this setup again, Sniper's pushing in. Quid comes in. This wind wall block from the Leona engage is amazing, but he still gets taken out. And it's because Quad is doing so much damage even after he goes down.
Meanwhile, the rest of 100 Thieves, they get the root onto Massu and actually are able to get that kill here, but it's going to be a drop in the bucket.
We're losing.
Nice choice,
Maybe
nice
T2
choice.
gone.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about
yeah. I'm going top.
They know, they can feel it slipping away. FlyQuest here with so many options to run over this game, and they're going to be uncontested on this dragon. Bwipo is huge. His stride breaker is done. The Corki is on 2 items with Muramana transformed already just over 17 minutes.
I mean, just look at the gold lead in both the
2.K.
solo lanes, right? It's absolutely massive. It's nearly 2K for Bwipo in top lane. It's more than that for Quad in mid lane. It's all eyes on Tomo. You have to feel like he's the only one who really has a chance to make something happen in this game, and his job is so incredibly difficult because you're going to have Bwipo charging at you. You're going to have Massu throwing his ult on you in every single fight. He's the only threat.
Yeah, we'll see. They might be looking for something on Bwipo. The big thing for me as well is that every time River has tried to go in, either for a primary engage or a secondary engage, the rest of FlyQuest have been able to kite out really easily. You saw that in the mid lane fight, especially with Redemption coming down. And on top of that, in the battle of like supporting characters here, I definitely think Inspired's Ivern is winning.
Oh, nice satchel. Eyla gets knocked back towards the tower there. Is going to be able to get out. And I just always feel like it's so difficult to play Yasuo into Leona because it's point and click CC on a really low cooldown. Every time you go forward, you're going to get stunned up. And yeah, he has the Merc treads, but they just focus fire him down to the point where when we saw that fight around mid lane, River knocked 2 people together, but you can't even ult back in because you're too low.
I think it's hard for everyone on 100 Thieves here, so they're going to force.
They are going to look. The minion, unfortunately, dies before he could actually snap Massu back. I don't think that's a play that they would have wanted to go for regardless. As Quad rejoining with the team. Items done now for Inspired as well. Has that double support item. He is at a really strong point of the game. Sure, Masu's behind, but he really just needs to wave clear and doesn't need to be that primary carry where Quad and Bwipo are set up so incredibly well to do that.
This Olaf is going to have Guardian Angel running at you with Redemption, Moonstone, Ivern shields on top of his head. This is terrifying.
Yep, and as we see, again, Ziggs, turret destruction. In mid, FlyQuest's knowledge of where they need to put people in lanes, even after like getting these leads, right? So they come out of the lane swap, they have a really good swap back, they know exactly what they want to do. This entire series, the biggest difference to me has actually been the map movements coming out of FlyQuest and how they've been funneling gold onto their carries.
I think a huge credit to Inspired a lot for manicuring these early games as well. A lot of good choices early for FlyQuest actually led to a lot of the leads in the very stable lane. So from here on out is a much easier way, part of the game to continue to play out. Now they can just easily control a neutral area. You see Busio there setting up the vision around Baron way ahead of time. Very easy for them to keep all these waves under control since Bwipo on the side lane is very fed. So is Quad this time around, and Ziggs just basically deletes minions in mid lane. So everybody's so well protected, the money will just keep coming in.
Yep, and meanwhile you do have the Corki on the top side. Clearing that out, he'll be able to catch that wave if Quid pushes it up. And then again, Bwipo just constantly pushing in this wave on the bot side.
Honestly, I think 100 Thieves gonna have to kind of force the timing here and just full send maybe on a side lane, maybe give up something. It is painful to give up the other part of the map, but if you don't just send multiple people and try and force a play, then FlyQuest are going to be so happy with continuing just steady income. So you see them now trying to open up some vision. If you can make FlyQuest a little bit more uncomfortable, try and get somebody out of position when they are transitioning over to retake vision, that could be your hope. These explosive kills can really have a domino effect, and that's your dream comeback for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and on the FlyQuest side, I mean, the big thing is that it's so easy for them to set up. If Busio goes in.
Here comes the Ziggs combo, but Tomo easily answers with an ultimate of his own, just pulling the support to safety there with the Fate's Call.
But then that's going to give them control of the top side of the map, right? We already have Quad pushing in this wave towards the top side tier 1. They'll be able to reestablish some vision around this Baron area, even as 100 Thieves is kind of trying to poke up in the mid lane.
Yeah, River trying to get that deep vision, maybe looking for an angle here behind Quad, but they don't know that Bwipo is here until just now, and he's going to rocket. He's going right in onto Quid. Can Quid actually turn around? They're trying to focus him down, but River's in trouble. It's the last breath thrown from Quid onto Quad. They flash forward. They're trying to finish off the Corki. Can they do it this time? Because on the other side, the fight is already lost. FlyQuest punching through the back end of that fight, taking out Sniper, and now River sure to follow. 3-man knockup. Quid's in the back line, though, trying to turn it around. Inspired has to flash out as he's in trouble. Tomo's being bought space. Tomo's being bought time, but he can't take down Bwipo. Bwipo's just hitting the minions and out healing all of the damage. It's a flash forward from Busio. Tomo trying to turn it around again onto Massu, but he just can't do it. He's alone in a 1v4. He's got nowhere to go and no shot in taking down Bwipo.
Oh, the death dance from Bwipo doing overtime there, and it's going to be a FlyQuest Baron.
Yeah, once again, FlyQuest are just going to be able to clean up this Baron after another massive team fight. Bwipo was absolutely huge, even when they were able to take down Quad pretty early on, and River had some really nice moves to try to control the back half of that fight. He lived just barely to be able to get some CC down, but it was Bwipo with this lead he has that ends up absolutely taking over. He is going to be I mean, he already is a menace.
He was really on the line, too. He was truly dancing with death in this because they started so early, and he uses his ult at the beginning. So 100 Thieves actually got a good response considering the state of the game, with Quid getting right onto the Corki and actually forcing so much pressure by killing Quad off that early. They thought, this is the opening, this is the hope, and then as they return and they try and go again.
Yeah, and as we see, River is going to go down. Even when Quid tries to go in again, he's going to end up getting cleaned up by the
health?
Yeah, by the Ziggs damage. And Tomo tries his best in the back half of that fight, but once they're able to clean everything up, Bwipo kills Eyla over there. They just are able to collapse on him completely.
Nonchalant, Bwipo just chilling. They couldn't quite finish him off. The slimmest of margins. It was a well-executed fight, I think, for the most part by 100 Thieves, but that's the goal difference in action. When you fall behind, those early mistakes come back to bite you. Sniper gonna have to pop the dominance just to run away. I'm not sure if that was a misclick. I didn't actually see what was happening there, but is sent back. And again, it's another game with him massively behind. Look at the difference in top lane, 8.4K. Bwipo has been incredible in back-to-back games for FlyQuest. The Rumble as well as the Olaf have been just impossible to answer.
It was a great red side counter pick, last pick into this team comp. Again, just such a dream comp to play it in. That being said, did get very close team fight down to the edge, but really the Death Dance pulling work, and now an extra full tank item built after that. With all of the money received after that last fight, you get a full Randuin's here with crit.
Oh, River in trouble, stunned up, and they're going to be TPing in. They're going to look for potentially a big play here as Bwipo's going to pop the ghost, pop the ultis into the backline. Can they focus him down? Tomo's trying to do it, but he's just surviving. He's too damn tanky until just now. They get the shutdown onto Tomo as he bleeds out there from the Death Dance. Couldn't quite survive and couldn't get the kill for the reset. Tomo, Eyla, Sniper trying to hang on, but again, they've got no wave clear against this Baron buff here. Quad pushing forward. He got through phase 1 of FlyQuest, but the rest of the members still standing, and they want this tower.
Yep, should be able to take this out. Look at the
Tomo in trouble. He's getting burst down, and he's gonna burn to Massu. Quid got into the back line, but got nothing done with the last breath. So unthreatening is the Yasuo from this far behind, and FlyQuest have cracked the base here. It's match point, and they've taken an inhibitor. They can smell the finals.
They had the Fed, Corki, and the Ziggs with Ivern brush at tower, just bombarding these defenses from 100 Thieves. Nice continue on the siege. Here's another look at how it all started with Busio going for the face check.
Yeah, and Busio goes in. We see
We're back to live, and it's Quid that's caught out, and it's Quid that's gone. Eyla tries to save his mid laner, but he just can't do it. Quad valking forward confidently here. There's no fight that FlyQuest won't take at this point. 100 Thieves are just so far behind. The goal differences in these solo lanes is enormous. And even Tomo, who is that hope for the squad, is now down on gold to the Ziggs because they cleared so many towers off with that Baron buff.
Yeah, Ziggs, they've done such a good job of putting this Ziggs against the turrets. And even you saw in that last game, even when Bwipo did go down after charging into the team fight, right? They had so much wave clear, and they should be able to push in on this top side, get this top tier 2, back off, reset.
Oh, they were all in the brush. This is the replay. River thought he had found one person out, but everyone else backed out the back of the brush, and the brush is still line of sight. So you can't see the people who are behind it, even though they're not in that brush. And so Quid went forward, and surprised, there was 4 FlyQuest members where they thought there was only one. It's a clown car, I guess.
Clown bush.
Yeah, clown bush. More and more coming out. 100 Thieves, it's time to hope for a miracle here, but it's hard to think how they would be able to get it done. Even with that perfect combo on Quad and Massu, you might just lose the fight to Bwipo if he gets in the back line. So it's got to be perfect for them. There's no room for error at this point if they want to keep their hopes of that LCS title alive.
And guess what? Quad has an arm guard on the Corki as well.
Mark.
An extra defensive button here along with the flash to survive that all in.
You can see Bwipo as well. He grabbed the Randuin, so he is going to be so tanky. There's, not a lot of magic damage in this composition. It's just the Zac, and Zac needs to be diving backline.
Yeah,
Yep.
he flew a little bit too close to the sun in the last team fight.
Might have flown into the sun,
but he
almost lived.
Yeah, and still almost lived. Yeah.
I mean, he is a really tanky guy right now, as Eyla going to find a route here onto Busio, but won't mean much besides gathering a soul off of him. The poke can't even break the Ivern shield, as of course this is that supporter enchanter style here on the Senna. He does have 2 items and did grab a healing debuff, which I think is smart, being able to itemize for that, just allow Tomo to just continue going towards more DPS.
Yep, and they should easily be able to rotate onto this Drake, take it down. They have complete vision over here. We see Massu on top side, and it's become really scary for this composition that wants to go in, wants to try to create these team fights to do anything on the map.
Yeah, they're going to go in, and maybe they'll be able to get through a lot of the shields, but it's multiple Chem Drakes for an Ivern Olaf team. So those are actually going to have some pretty good value there, and Chemtech's Soul as well now on the clock. You can tell FlyQuest taking this at a leisurely pace because they have it so much in control. And they're honestly really already looking forward to Team Liquid to tomorrow. They have had this series under control since the opening minutes.
It's definitely felt that way. You know, the objective bounties have spawned. River does see Busio. If they get that miracle fight, taste of objective bounties, maybe there's some angle. But of course, it is one fight away for FlyQuest to going to finals. The mid lane has already been cracked. If they win a 5v5, they could just look to push the Nexus, put the finishing touches on it. And they're going to go in now, and it's Sniper that's caught out, does go for the slice, doesn't actually have the dice, he didn't get the reset, and they're just going to be chasing him down. He's going to have to flash out of there. Renekton way behind, and now without flash is going to have even less value in that 5v5.
Yep, and now he'll have to reset, and it does look like FlyQuest are also just going to have a great setup on this Baron.
Yeah, they're hitting it, and Massu's just going to be poking people away. The TP's coming in, as this could potentially be the final fight. FlyQuest just going to stay on this. Bwipo's just soloing it up with shields from Inspired, staying at full health, so they can do this so carefully. Busio, Quad, Massu, they're just zoning you out. 100 Thieves don't really have an easy way in. You can see River trying to get there. He feels he needs to look for some sort of a miracle. Eyla gonna get satcheled back in. They're gonna go for the route. They couldn't quite find it. Quad goes over the wall, but did he go too far? No, he's so strong. He can just stand and fight. The shield both proc there from Quid. As here comes Bwipo, and that man cannot be stopped. The last breath from may be the end of the game for 100 Thieves. It's FlyQuest on the chase. They're looking for more. Tomo trying to run out, but they're going to get slowed down. They're going to get rooted up. Sniper will fall as well.
FlyQuest, what a great setup. They force 100 Thieves. They are looking to potentially TP in onto River, but no, they're just going to TP in mid, push for the win.
Yeah, River was trying to clear the minion waves to stop the push, but they go and they secure their minions that they want to end the game with.
There's almost no wave clear remaining here. 400 Thieves. Do FlyQuest go back to the Baron, or do they go for the Nexus? It looks like they want to go for the throat here. Eyes on the Nexus and eyes on Liquid for that finals. They're going in, and Tomo's going down. He's burst out by Quad, and you have to think that's going to be it. The Thieves are done. The rematch is set. FlyQuest will sweep the series and head to finals with their eyes on the LCS trophy.
And that statement victory for FlyQuest. It did not feel even close in this series. They came with a absolutely phenomenal game plan. I'm really looking forward to their rematch against TL. That last one went all 5 games. This third game in particular, I love the lane swap coming out. Anything that 100 Thieves threw at them, they caught and they returned in massive amounts of damage, just complete map control.
Really good red side draft, really good execution from the entire team of FlyQuest. And all that's left is to take a bow. 3-0 sweep here.
It's going to be another rematch here against Liquid, who has stopped them a couple times in a row. Liquid has not lost a series in nearly 180 days. The last time Liquid lost one was to these members here. FlyQuest is on stage. They're going to be joined by Jack for the winner's interview.